What's going on, everyone? I'm Gabe,
What's up, everybody? I'm Deit.
and there's another episode. I know you missed us for a minute. We've been out and about. This is our first episode for January of 2024, so we're glad to be here. We're glad that you're here with us. We especially want to pause for a second and give everybody a special thanks for the support, the views, the likes, the shares, and of course the subscribes that we definitely appreciate. Like I said, special thanks. We go to events now, and people know who we are.
Yep.
We have situations where it's like it's where we meeting even colleagues of ours that we had before, and who also are sharing in this experience with cigars. So a couple of them we meet our man, which we plan on having on a show, Marshall Morgan, who's like he's rolling his own cigars and everything now.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. We got our man Vinny.
Vinny the Blade.
Yes, Vinny the Blade. Vinny the Blade. Shout out to him. We got our man Felix Rivera, which we would plan on bringing. He's the ones that's always going to Puerto Rico, showing us some good Puerto Rico cigars.
Yeah.
And we got our man Mr. Gibson with the big hat.
Yep.
So definitely shout outs to you and thank you. We definitely want to have you guys on the show, but we definitely want to also share and be grateful for the support that you're giving us.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that I was out for was I actually went on vacation. So Deep missed me for a little bit.
Yeah. How was your vacation?
It was good. Me and wife, we went to it's St. Kitts and Nevis Islands. They're in the Caribbean.
Oh wow.
It was definitely a relaxing experience. I also want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to our host, Betty and Ed. They were the best. They have a beautiful home there. I was waking up to the ocean and just relaxing, and I started to think, because we've gone on vacation together, and a lot of times when we go on vacation, part of our vacation regimen is we're looking for what?
Cigars.
We're looking for cigars.
Oh yeah.
And and a lot of times when we leave the country, we're looking for what kind of cigars?
Cuban cigars.
Yeah. So it gave me a moment to almost reflect on that, because it seemed like it's a regimen, not that we just do, but obviously many people do it when they go on vacations. Some are good experiences and some are not so good experiences. I could just give you a small experiences. What was it, last year? I went on a cruise, and I was telling Deit, I said we went to, I think it was Dominican Republic, and I wasn't even looking for Cuban cigars, but I overheard someone who was talking to someone outside, one of the vendors. Hey, you looking for Cuban cigars? And they were having that conversation. Of course, I started ear hustling because you hear Cuban cigars, the interest is there.
Yes.
And it was almost like it was like top secret information. All of a sudden, one of the vendors who was actually selling purses got on a walkie-talkie, talked to another person, the walkie-talkie. They flagged this couple down. Of course, I'm ear hustling, so I'm like, "Yo, can I get in on this?" Because I wanted to bring some Cubans for my man Deit.
Right.
So they took us around the corner somewhere. It was another shop. They were selling, I think they were selling like also some type of handbags. But they were like, "Hey, you here for the for the Cuban cigars?" Yeah. So the first couple goes in. It's like one of those things where they got like a little bag, kind of a bag like this, and they're like, "Oh, come here, I got them. I got them right here. This is the price." They start negotiating. But you're still not seeing a product, but you're so excited about the potential of a Cuban cigar.
Right.
You're like, okay. All of a sudden, do the deal, exchange the money, bam. They wrap it up, put it in there. In the box, they show you a box real quick, put it in there, bam. Man, I went back on a boat. The box wasn't even the right color. It was off looking. Yeah, I got beat. I got beat. I got beat. And it hurt because, of course, at that point, what do we tend to do? We tend to start jumping on Google or jumping on YouTube. How do you spot a fake whatever? Guess what? I hit all the flags.
Right.
All the flags. It was like the box was cardboard. Man, the cigars had mold on them.
Well, you live and you learn.
Yeah. Because I think you had experience also with trying to locate some Cuban cigars. I guess it was a good. It's when we went to Cuba, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You want to share that briefly with
everyone? Well, yeah. Well, I remember we were all traveling. We were on an excursion in Cuba. me, my wife, Gabe, and his wife, and of course, in Cuba at the time, the way that they sold cigars, there were two ways that cigars could be purchased. One was in what they had like government stores, where you paid more, but it was relatively safe. And the other way was on the street, where the people who worked at the factories were kind of like selling the cigars
Mm.
that they made at the factories. I guess they were sneaking them out of the factories. I don't know, but they were also selling them on the street. But there was no guarantee with those cigars, and you didn't
Mm.
know what you were getting, or what was even in the cigar or whatever. They had no labels or anything like that on them. So I guess I had the attitude of when in Rome, you do like the Romans do, or you do like the locals do. And guys were constantly coming up to me trying to sell me cigars on the street. And it's kind of funny that at one point, these group of guys were trying to get me to come down this long dark alleyway
Mm-hmm.
and to purchase some cigars. They kept saying, and they were speaking in Spanish. I didn't understand what they were saying, so they was like, "Come on!" But they were motioning for me to come, and thank God, Gabe's wife Brenda, she was a blessing, because she knew what they were saying in Spanish, and they were actually planning to rob me
Mm.
once I came down the street. So me being so I guess the moral of the story is that you can get so caught up in trying to
Mm-hmm.
purchase that you don't use your common sense sometimes. Because if she hadn't been there, I would have went down that street, and God only knows what would have happened to me. But um, you should always pay attention to your surroundings when you're out there. And Gabe will go over some other things,
Yeah.
some other do's and don'ts, as far as like trying to buy cigars while you're traveling abroad. And I think it'll be very helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah. True. True. One thing I will say that when you travel abroad, I think we get so caught up, or I get caught up in that. Let's get a Cuban cigar. Which now I kind of changed my phrase. My initial phrase is, "Hey, do they have cigars here?"
I'm sorry. Did you just light a cigar?
Yeah, just a little cigar. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to sit here
I
and
well,
talk.
listen. Would you like? Would you like?
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you very
Yeah,
much,
yeah.
sir.
I
Yeah,
got a cigar for my
yeah.
man.
All
I'm
right,
always take
all
care of him.
right.
But also to see if they have any type of local cigars or local liquors, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And what impressed me, and probably why I lit the cigar as well, is because this is a cigar actually from St. Kitts.
Oh, wow.
It's a beautiful island, relaxing island, beautiful people. It's one of those places that actually docks for like cruise ships. And one thing that I was very impressed with the island, in addition to all that, is they produce a lot of their own things, and things that I'm looking for, whether it's
Mm.
liquor that's native to that location, and
Mm-hmm.
also cigars. So
Wow.
there's a St. Kitts
Interesting.
cigar company established in 2022. A mild cigar, very good cigar. And I actually came across this while looking for the famous "we got to get a Cuban cigar." But I definitely want to share that with you, because I think sometimes, you know, if I was so focused on the Cuban, I never would have found this cigar. And I think that when we travel, sometimes we may miss it. Like I said, we're not experts, we're not connoisseurs. We're learning. And this was a great learning experience for me, because, like I said, I wish I would have purchased more of these
Well,
cigars.
I consider myself a connoisseur.
All right, well, yeah, well, I
I'm not
always,
an expert, but I am a connoisseur.
I'm a novice, and it ain't
Well,
no
you can
shame in
still
my
be a
game.
novice and be a connoisseur. But go
All
ahead.
right,
I'm sorry to
yeah, I'm
interrupt.
not quite. If we were playing a video game, I'm not at that level yet. I'm not. I need some more points. I need some more time on. I'm not quite at that level. Like, I don't got the incense going, and all the other stuff. But I'm trying to get there. My palate's trying to get there. But I say that to say, um, it was a good experience just to find this cigar. And I would say, when you travel abroad, please ask, because you'll be surprised and you'll be impressed. I mean, I'm not saying everyone's going to have a favorable experience, but I think it's worth giving that, to look into that, as you're looking for the Cuban cigar. Now, I got good news.
Okay, before you do that, can I just tell you when I'm smoking here?
Mm-hmm.
You gave me a Baccarat, 1871 Dulce Far Niente. Um, And as you're speaking,
Yeah.
as you're speaking, I'm going to let you know how it is. But it looks really good. It looks mild, also that
Yes.
Connecticut wrapper. But I'll let you know how it is.
All
I'm
right.
excited about this.
And as you notice, like I said, I'm still a novice, so you will find a lot of Canadian rap because I'm trying to get my palate ready. But the good news is, they did have Cuban cigars there, and I had expressed to the gentleman, the salesperson, very nice guy. I wish I would have got his name, and I said, listen, how do I know this is legit? And obviously, I mean, everything looked legit. It was a legit store, a legit area. So, but I asked him. I said, "Listen, I've gotten caught before," and he actually gave me some tips, and I want these tips to share to my man Deit. And Deit was like, "You know something, y'all, let our family and friends, on the show
Yeah,
aware of it."
absolutely.
So I actually took some photos of it, and just to kind of show how much of a novice we really are. We're even more novice when it comes to technology.
Right.
So you won't get no woo
Right.
bing and get the pictures.
Right.
We go old school, and we actually have pictures that we printed out.
Right. We want you guys to,
Yeah.
if you do purchase abroad, we don't want you to go through the same things we went to.
Yeah, definitely.
Thankfully we didn't know, we didn't get injured or hurt or anything
Yeah.
like that. But we don't want you to get beat. We don't want you to lose money.
Literally beat. Yeah.
We don't want you to have some of the experience. If we could help you to not have some of the experiences we've had, then we'll be happy about that.
Yeah. So the gentleman I showed Deit, and Deit can talk about it, but obviously it's that seal.
Yeah.
And
well, first of all, when you purchase, what are the first things when you purchase cigars, Cuban cigars? They should always have the Republica de Cuba seal. It'll either be on the cigar itself, on the wrapper, or near the wrapper, or it'll be on the box.
Here. We're talking about, and it's kind of like that. What you call it? It's that special paper kind of.
I'm not sure the
There's a
name of the
word for it.
paper, but raised. The lettering should be raised, and because you can also fake that seal.
Yeah, but it has that. Yeah, but that seal is what's that, holographic seal?
I believe it's holographic.
Yeah, so that seal there, the gentleman said you want to look for that, and then what else he said? He said you want to look for the other end of it. It should have a barcode with a number on it. He says, look for those two things. They got to be. I just want to kind of show you too. There's a barcode that we're talking about.
Right.
It's got to have that. And then what else he said, which I found interesting, he says, listen, when you look at the box, you turn the box around, and you're going to see this. Obviously, it says what you said in Spanish. Hecho in Cuba has it.
Right.
But one thing that he brought up to my attention that was interesting was the date. He said this says MAR, which is March of 2022. He said if you find a date, sometimes they'll fake it, and as crazy as it sounds, they may have a date that might be March of 2026. And I guess the thought process in someone who's trying to fake it is going to be to almost say, oh, well, it's not expired yet. That has nothing to do with expiration. That has to do when it was actually produced. So this one was produced in 2022, which was another mark. He said you definitely have to have those three things on there that it's legit.
So when you're talking about that, the date that is stamped should never be a future date. It should be always be a date that was in the past. Correct?
Yes, because obviously it'll show that it was made on that date. But obviously to someone, I'll be like honest, novice is me. I'm gonna be like, oh, it's 2026. That must mean, yo, it's a good cigar. It's good for 20, almost like milk.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's not the case with it.
Wow.
So we was with I was out with the gentleman, did my purchase. I was very pleased with it. Paid the cost. It was all legit. Paid my fees or whatever. But it was, I think what was priceless was the educational part of it.
Right.
Because like I said, that experience I had before, man, I got played out. I mean, I remember the guy says, "Oh, I'm even going to throw in some cohibas," and I think I told you that sometimes you even got to watch how they even spell them, right?
Well, cohiba should not be spelled with two E's. Cohiba. Right. Yeah. So that would be a definite red flag if you see that. So yeah, but again, we just want to make sure that you guys get your best travel experience as possible. Come back with some really good stuff that you want. Like when I come back, I usually like to get back enough that enough cigars so I give some to my friends, but enough so I could have some for myself too. Because Cuban cigars, for anybody who's ever had one, it is a wonderful experience, and
Oh,
we'll
it is.
share
It
that
is.
in another episode. But we'll share the Cuban cigar experience that they are, in my opinion, a step up in terms of flavor and in terms of the manufacturing of the cigar. You could tell you're smoking something that's a step up. So we enjoy them, and we love to get our hands on them when we can.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get your hands on some, those of you who smoked them, you know what I'm talking about. But those of you maybe trying to seek it out for the first time, you're going to love it.
All right. Well, let me just change a topic for a Smith second. How you like your cigar? Because you said you was gonna give us a
Oh,
little
this
brief.
is good. It's very good. Like I said, it's mild.
Mm-hmm.
Great flavor. Great
It's
flavor.
good.
If I have to describe the flavor, I'd say some spice.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely pepper. Definitely pepper. Uh, uh, but they're very smooth, and a certain level of like creaminess involved too. So yeah, but it's all put together. I'm only in the first third right now,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all put together nicely, and it's a very smooth, very relaxing smoke.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna try to give a review of this one. Like I said, that's from the connoisseur perspective. I'm still the novice. This Saint Kitts, I enjoy it. It's very mild.
Mm-hmm.
It's very earthy as far as like I don't really taste any spices or any sweetness to it. Oddly enough, I'm starting to pick up the pepper.
Mm.
I
Good.
think in one of our previous episodes when we were talking about some of these description words, they kind of get your palate to start looking for
Right.
it.
Well,
Um,
try a retro hail,
mhm,
and maybe
mhm.
you'll get more of the flavors that the cigar has to offer once you try a retro hail. Try holding the smoke in for a minute, and it'll give you more.
All right. I think it did enhance that peppery
Mm.
that I was talking about, but it's just that mildness. Like I said, I'm still trying to get my palate together. Whereas if I would have tried this 6 7 months ago, I probably would have been coughing right now. As
Right.
far as retro hail, so
Right.
it does take time and it's an experience.
Live and learn.
Yeah. Mm. Enjoying these cigars, but definitely I had a great time on vacation.
Good.
The bad
Good.
part was we weren't here to make episodes.
Right.
But I think everything goes with timing because we did have some kind of cold weather, and even though we said go hard or go home, a couple times we had to go home because the temperature dropped. Because
Right.
I do remember when we got back from 84 degrees, it was like 10 degrees that day when we got back over here in Jersey. So
Right.
yeah,
We've been in the middle of winter since you were gone,
yeah.
so you didn't miss anything weather-wise. But now today it's a great day. It's probably in the low 50s maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it's a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. So we decided to come out here and give you an episode.
And maybe it's me, but what also I find impressive, and I don't know if that has to do with the cigar. I'm sure it has to do with the cigar, but I'm not sure if it has to do with in how the cigar is kept in the humidor. But I enjoy having a nice, burn, an even burn,
Mm-hmm.
a long burn. The ashes. To me, maybe personally, that's one of the factors in rating a cigar for me. That it's not that it burns evenly. That way, you get full. To me, full enjoyment of the cigar.
Right, that goes into the lighting of it. I think a lot of that, when you light it correctly, or when you take your time when you're lighting it, even more. I think I should say that when you take your time when you're lighting it, it really does pay off uh, uh, in terms of enjoying the cigar. Excuse me.
That's
So
that's
yeah,
my man. Next level. He got
yeah,
experience.
when when you're when you take your time with your lighting, it burns evenly, and then of course you got the ash. The ash
Yes.
should be even colored. You shouldn't be have like a dark black ash and then a light ash over here. The ash should be very evenly covered. But like I said, it all has to do with the lighting of it.
Mm-hmm.
Take your time when you light. Don't get rushed. Don't let people around you rush you. Even if you got to take a minute and go over to the side by yourself to light your cigar, it's good to just take your time when you're lighting. You know, take your time when you decide what kind of cut you're going to give your cigar. Look at the cigar, look at how it's made, how it's balanced, and maybe I'll go with a punch cut this time, or maybe I'll go with a V cut. I don't know, but the lighting of the cigar uh, uh, is important to your enjoyment of the cigar.
Got it. Point well taken. I'm taking notes. Got my notebook out here. I'm trying. Like I said, I'm trying to get to raise my, I guess my cigar intelligence, my cigar
Well, you're
knowledge.
doing all right. You're doing good.
Definitely.
The main thing is that you enjoy your cigar experience. I mean, you know, you pick up things on your own. It's just like you experience anything else. But the main thing is that you enjoy your experience. So you're enjoying it. So that's more than half the battle right there. You'll pick up little things that that help you and enjoy your experience. But the main thing is that you enjoy it. So you're already ahead of the game already from the beginning.
And I have to admit, I mean, one of the best parts of my vacation, as simple as it was a great highlight. I mean, I am sitting on Betty Ed's beautiful balcony, with the scenery, with a cup of coffee in my hand and a cigar. Man, that was
Doesn't get much better than that.
No, it doesn't. No,
right,
it doesn't.
right. And we know you guys have similar experiences. Maybe if you're on vacation or if you're like we are now in your backyard, it doesn't really matter. But we know you got similar experiences, so we love to hear them. Maybe something that you guys do out there can help us and get our experience going. You know?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, if you got some pictures, like I said, we're on Facebook. Man, we are not social media savvy, but I'm trying to learn. I got the little, what's it called, TikTok going.
TikTok.
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Of course, we're on YouTube.
Check us out.
Subscribe. That's probably the best way for you to get connected with us. Just
like, comment,
hit
and
the
subscribe.
button. I think the button on our screen is probably over here, in YouTube land. The button subscribe is probably right here. Hit that button. Get us subscribing. Because I'm kind of excited for the next episode that we're gonna have, because we talked about it, but I didn't share with Deit, my man Deit.
Wow.
You want to take a look at what we?
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Wow.
Got some Romeo and Juliet's Habana Cuba. So we're gonna do that. I'm
gonna check this out, America.
Yes.
Wow.
So I'm excited.
Can we light it up now?
No, man. That's the next episode, man.
All right.
Okay. So you gotta catch on next episode. So on that note, later. Peace. You got anything to say to our viewers on the way out?
We gotta go because we gotta get ready to light this up on the next episode.
Oh, so he don't.
So we'll see you in the next one.
Oh, so he just straight up later.
Peace, everybody.
Later.